Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tales, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now, let's get into today's tale. When my wife's cousin was injured, I took over his shift at my own job's expense. The next week, he got promoted using my reports. My wife said, maybe he just did it better. I stared at her. Then I called HR, with the one piece of evidence that would turn his life, and hers, inside out. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy to call HR on someone, especially not someone my wife called family. But when you get stabbed in the back that hard, when the people closest to you treat you like you're nothing, you stop playing nice. My name is Evan. I'm 39 years old. I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've been married to Sienna for 6 years. No kids. We've had our ups and downs like everyone else, but I always thought we were solid. I thought we had each other's backs. I work for a logistics company. Been there almost a decade. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills. I started as a data clerk and worked my way up. A few months ago, I was told I was in the running for a promotion. Lead scheduler. It wasn't just a new title, it was a big step forward. Better pay, better hours, more say in the department. I'd been busting my ass to get there. Enter Logan. Logan is my wife's cousin, but they're more like siblings. He's 2 years younger than me, the kind of guy who shows up to the family barbecue with a beer in one hand and nothing in the other. Always talking big, always laughing loud, always sliding by without doing much. Sienna helped him get a job at my company last year. He'd been struggling after getting fired from some warehouse job. She convinced my boss to bring him on as a part-time scheduler. I didn't like it, but I kept my mouth shut. I figured it would be temporary. A few months ago, Logan got into a biking accident. He called Sienna from the hospital. Broken wrist, cracked ribs, couldn't type, couldn't drive, needed help. Sienna looked at me and asked if I could maybe help him out for a couple of weeks. I told her, I'm swamped. I've got reports due, and Dennis is watching me close for that promotion. She said, just help him, please. You know he's got no one else. I didn't want to, but I gave in. For 2 full weeks, I did his work on top of my own. I'd log into his account after hours. I cleaned up his backlog, ran his reports, fixed his scheduling errors. I even answered emails for him. Wasn't getting paid extra, and I wasn't even getting credit. I thought, it's fine. I'll just do the right thing. It'll come back around. He came back to work like nothing happened. Rolled in with a box of Marca suits and a story about how hard recovery was. People laughed. He smiled. I didn't say a thing. That Friday, everything changed. There was a surprise meeting. Dennis stood up in front of the team and said, we want to recognize Logan for stepping up while short-staffed. His recent work was outstanding. Corporate's taking notice. He's been promoted to lead scheduler. Everyone clapped, except me. I just sat there, numb. I thought it was a joke at first, but then I saw the look Logan gave me. Not a thank you, not even a nod, just a smug grin, like he'd won something. After the meeting, I followed him to the break room. You use my work, I said. He smirked. What work? Every report, every number. I did all of it. He took a sip of his coffee. Maybe, but I submitted it. I stared at him. You serious right now? He shrugged. You should have used your own name, man. That night, I told Sienna everything. I expected her to be angry, or at least shocked. She wasn't. She said, maybe you just did it better. I just stood there staring at her. I couldn't believe she said that. I thought she was on my side. I thought she'd get it. But all she did was sit there scrolling through her phone. That was the moment something snapped in me. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I went upstairs, pulled down the old hard drive I hadn't touched in years. I used to work IT back in the day. Got into the habit of backing up everything. Emails, files, documents. I had auto-archiving set up for every sent item from my work email. Sure enough, there it was. Every single report I'd written for Logan, timestamps, metadata, draft versions, saved on my account before I copied them to his. Even Slack messages where he thanked me for saving his ass. I gathered everything. I waited until Monday, then I called HR. "Hi," I said. "I need to speak to someone privately about a recent promotion." The woman on the line asked me to explain. I told her, "The work that got Logan promoted, I did it. I can prove it." That got things moving fast. I emailed them everything: logs, reports, timestamps, messages. I didn't exaggerate. I just told the truth. Then I waited. 3 days later, Logan got pulled into HR. He looked pale when he walked out. Didn't say a word. That afternoon, Dennis called me in. He looked annoyed. "We're reversing the promotion," he said. "Effective immediately. The role will go to you." I nodded. Didn't say much, just, "Okay." "Logan's on leave while we investigate," Dennis added. "Got it." That night, Sienna came home furious. "What did you do to Logan?" I calmly said, "I told the truth. He's family. So am I." She didn't like that. She didn't talk to me for days. Then I found out she had been messaging Logan behind my back, telling him I'd ruined his life, that I was overreacting. I confronted her. "You really chose him over me?" she said. "You embarrassed him. You embarrassed me." That was it. I packed a bag for her and told her to go stay with Logan. She did. I thought that was the end of it. But it wasn't, because the best part hadn't happened yet. After Sienna left, things got quiet in the house. I won't lie, it felt strange. She'd been part of my daily life for so long, and now the silence was deafening. But I didn't call her. I didn't ask her to come back. She had made her choice. A week went by. HR finished their investigation. Logan's promotion was officially revoked, and I stepped into the lead scheduler role. I thought that would be the end of it. I wanted to move on and focus on the new position. Then one morning, Dennis came to my desk looking uncomfortable. "Can we talk?" I followed him. Into his office, he shut the door. "I need you to be aware of something," he said. "Logan's filed a complaint." I stared at him. "Against who?" "You." "For what?" He sighed. "He's claiming that you hacked into his account, accessed his files without permission, and sabotaged him. He says you've had it out for him since he was hired." I laughed. I couldn't help it. "You're kidding, right?" He shook his head. "HR is reviewing it, but you need to send them everything again. And if you have proof that Logan gave you access, send that too." I did better than that. I forwarded Slack messages where Logan literally sent me his login info and said, "Use my account. Make it look like I'm working." He even said, "Thanks for saving my ass." After I fixed a few broken schedules he'd messed up the month before his injury, that shut things down fast. Still, the damage had started. People in the office were whispering. Some folks were on my side, saying Logan was a user and I did what I had to do. Others didn't see it that way. They thought I was being petty, that I should have just let Logan have the win. I could live with that. But what came next hit harder. Sienna called me. I let it go to voicemail. Then she texted, "We need to talk. It's serious." I ignored her for 2 days. Then curiosity got the best of me. I met her at a diner near the highway. She looked tired, not like herself. She sat down across from me and didn't say a word for a while. Then she said, "I'm pregnant." The air in my chest vanished. I stared at her. "Mine?" She nodded. Of course, I didn't believe her. Not right away, not after everything, not after finding out she'd been texting Logan behind my back. I didn't say anything, just sat there, numb. She reached across the table. "Evan, I messed up, but this changes things. We can fix it." I pulled my hand back. "I don't think it does." She looked like she might cry, but I didn't comfort her. I paid for my coffee and left. 2 days later, Logan showed up at my job. Security stopped him at the door, but I saw it from the window. He was screaming, telling them he needed to talk to me, that I'd ruined his life, that I owed him. They escorted him off the property. HR called me again, said they were pressing charges for harassment, told me to be careful in case he tried anything else. I went home that night and found Sienna sitting on the porch. "I don't have anywhere to go," she said. "Logan kicked me out." I opened the door. I let her sleep in the guest room. I didn't talk much. I didn't ask questions. I didn't say sorry. I was too busy trying to figure out if any of this was even real anymore. The next morning, I checked her phone while she was in the shower. She still had messages from Logan. The last one was 2 days old. "If he won't take you back, just tell him it's his. He's stupid enough to fall for it." I sat there holding her phone. My hands were shaking. I didn't say a word when she walked out of the bathroom. I just handed her the phone. She looked at the screen. She didn't even deny it. She just whispered, "I didn't mean to. I was scared. I was scared." I nodded. I know exactly what to do now. Sienna moved out that same day. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I didn't even look at her. I just told her to pack up and leave before I got back from work. She begged me to talk, to hear her out, but I wasn't listening. I didn't care what her excuse was. That message from Logan told me everything I needed to know. I changed the locks the next day. HR reached out again. Apparently, Logan had been seen loitering near the company's parking lot. One of the interns said he tried to talk to her, asking where I usually parked. That was enough for HR to get the police involved. They filed a restraining order on my behalf. I signed it without hesitation. A week later, I got a call from a blocked number. I don't usually answer those, but something in my gut told me to pick up. It was Logan's ex-girlfriend, Amy. We'd only met once, years ago, at a barbecue. She sounded nervous, said she got my number from Sienna's phone before everything went sideways. "Look," she said, "I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but I think you need to know Logan's trying to screw you over." I stayed quiet. She continued, "He's been bragging to people that he has something on you, something he was going to send to your company, said he was going to take you down with him." I didn't know what he meant, but he's been acting unhinged. Asked if she knew what kind of something he meant. She hesitated. He said it was emails, that he could twist them to make it look like you were hiding something from your supervisors. I don't know if it's real or not, but knowing Logan, it's probably garbage. I thanked her, then hung up. It didn't sit right with me. I went back through all my old emails, backups, work chats, everything. Nothing was there that could be twisted, at least not easily. But I knew Logan. If he was desperate, he might try anything. I stayed a few extra hours at work that week documenting everything, creating a timeline of events. I saved copies of every report, every message, every login timestamp. I even made a list of every favor Logan ever asked me to do. That's when I found something strange in the system logs. It showed that someone had logged into Logan's account after he was suspended. The IP address didn't match his home. It matched my Wi-Fi. That's when it hit me. Sienna. She had access to our network when she was living with me, and she still had Logan's login saved from when I was helping him. I realized she must have tried to access his work account after he was let go. Maybe to try to clean something up, or create fake messages. But the logs didn't lie. So now I had her on the hook too. I called my friend Derek, who works in cybersecurity for the state. I told him what was going on and asked if he could help me trace it all. 2 days later, he sent me a folder full of data, log files, connection attempts. Even one file where someone tried and failed to spoof an internal company email using a fake domain that looked just like ours. It came from a laptop registered under Sienna's name, one she used for freelance gigs. Now I had both of them. Logan for lying, for stealing, for threatening me. Sienna for helping him. And that's when the idea hit me. I wasn't going to just clear my name. I was going to burn theirs. But I had to. Be smart about it. I couldn't rush. I needed to make sure every piece of what I had was airtight. That's when I made one more call. To a lawyer. I sat across from the lawyer at a quiet office in Camp Hill. His name was Marcus Keller. Mid-50s. Sharp. Calm. Been doing this kind of work for over 30 years. I gave him everything. The screenshots, the system logs, the Slack messages, the email headers, the backup files, the trace report from Derek, and even Sienna's phone logs. I'd quietly copied before she left. He went quiet for a long time as he read. Then he leaned back and said, "This is good. This is real good. And it's not just a work issue anymore. You're looking at fraud, defamation, conspiracy, possibly attempted identity theft. Maybe more." I nodded. "Can we nail them both?" He smirked. "We can bury them." The first thing Marcus did was help me file a civil complaint against both Sienna and Logan. The claim? Unauthorized access to a company system, reputational damage, malicious interference with my employment. But that wasn't the real move. The real move came a week later, when Marcus sent a carefully written letter to our company's legal department. In it, he explained the full scope of what Logan and Sienna had Marcus. How Logan submitted falsified work for a promotion, how Sienna attempted to spoof company emails, and how both tried to make it look like I was the one fabricating evidence. Corporate freaked out. This wasn't just an HR issue anymore. It was a legal liability. They wanted it gone. Quietly. But Marcus pushed back. He threatened to take it public if they didn't take official action. That meant a formal investigation and disciplinary actions. Was in meetings with the legal team within a week. I sat across from my bosses and laid it all out. Calm and measured. I wasn't angry anymore. I was beyond that. I was ready. Logan was fired again. This time with a formal record that included multiple ethical violations. And since his previous HR complaint was now proven to be knowingly false, he was added to a corporate-wide blacklist shared with over 200 logistics companies in the Northeast. He would never work in the industry again. Sienna, meanwhile, had been freelancing part-time for a startup marketing firm. When Dawn and I sent them the log showing her unauthorized access and attempted forgery, they fired her within 24 hours. They didn't want that kind of heat. Still, I wasn't Marcuse. I released the full story. Sanitized, legally safe, but still honest. To a local HR-focused business blog under a Sue Marcusim, it picked up traction fast. It got shared. Then it got passed around LinkedIn circles. Comments flooded in. People were furious on my behalf. That led to the best part of all. Logan had been interviewing for a sales job in Philly. Apparently, it was his last shot. The company found the blog post and recognized the story. They canceled his final interview, sent a formal blacklisting letter, and marked his resume as do not consider. Then came the cherry on top. Marcus helped me file for full legal separation and divorce from Sienna, not just on grounds of infidelity or financial misconduct, but on fraudulent digital conduct. That opened the door to something I hadn't expected: reimbursement. Turns out, because she used joint property, our shared Wi-Fi and her laptop purchased under both our names, to commit fraud, I was entitled to claim financial damages during the divorce. She tried to fight it. She showed up in court looking broken, like she hadn't slept in weeks. Her hair was messy. Her lawyer looked embarrassed to even represent her. She said I was being cruel, that I was dragging her through hell. The judge looked over the files we submitted and said, "Ma'am, this isn't hell. This is the fire you lit yourself." He ruled in my favor on all counts. Sienna had to pay $11,000 in damages, surrender her half of our savings, and cover half of my legal fees. She left court crying, shaking, and alone. The final twist? After everything, Logan tried to sue me. Filed a defamation claim in small claims. Court, saying I'd ruined his career. It was thrown out in 5 minutes, and when he couldn't pay his legal fees, the court issued a lien on his car. So, yeah, I helped a family member once. I did it out of kindness. I sacrificed my own progress to help him. He stabbed me in the back and dragged my marriage down with him. But now he's unemployed, blacklisted, broke, and living with his parents again. And Sienna? She's back on social media acting like a victim of emotional abuse. But everyone in our circle knows the truth now. People stopped answering her calls. Even her own mother reached out to me, apologizing for how everything went down. As for me, I'm good. I got the promotion. I kept my reputation clean. I moved out of that old house and into a quiet place near the river, still single, still figuring out what's next. But I sleep easy every night, because in the end, I didn't have to get revenge with my fists. All I needed was the truth, and the truth destroyed them.